Welcome back, everybody, to the Gears Winter Major presented by the Batman. It is losers bracket final time as the Pittsburgh Knights fall to the Kansas City Pioneers 3-1. They will now face a red-hot eUnited squad blazing through the losers bracket after coming off of a few key wins, a couple of close ones in 3-2 matchups, but nonetheless, I am excited for this one, that is for sure. Let's start to break down these rosters here a little bit. Starting off with the Pittsburgh Knights. Ribs, walk me through this roster.
I just want to say really tough loss for the Knights there. I just pray, I hope and pray they're not deflated. I hope that motivates them getting beaten that manner, but KCP looks amazing. Congratulations to them. Moving on to grand finals. And yeah, of course, Raver, Dezonide, Monkyz, Fearzly, they haven't yet shown the version of the Knights that we want to see. I mean, they still have this series to try to pick it back up, but it's one of the worst things in the world when you get to Championship Sunday and all of a sudden you look like a shell of yourself. So I'm looking, honestly, right now, I'm looking at Monkyz and Raver, right? Monkyz, one of the most consistent players in our league, one of the most consistent players on this team, and then Raver's supposed to be the main slayer on this roster, in my opinion. He's supposed to be the guy that's making those plays that we're seeing Cells make and Powerz make. So if Raver's not matching that level of energy, if he's not making just one highlight play a map, one highlight play every 2 maps, I'm not seeing anything out of him right now. Of course, Dezonide could pick it up if he gets some power weapons, but yeah, the Knights right now, this is looking like history of old, Toby. We see Latin America get to Sunday, but then they don't close the deal, and it's just quite honestly depressing.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. I think Monkyz, I said it earlier, right? Monkyz statistically is the best player on paper 2 Pro Leagues in a row, right? Two splits in a row. But then when you come to major time, for some reason, he doesn't perform in that way. There's like a 0.4 difference between him and second place in KD on stats alone this split. That is huge at this level. That's massive. And so on paper, we really need Monkyz to be performing in that way if PK wants to be able to perform in a way that they have done in the Pro League.
Yeah, that's a lot of great insights into the Pittsburgh Knights roster. Let's start to break down the United side, though. Toby, talk me through the United roster. On the flip side, what do they need to do to keep this hot streak alive?
Yeah, absolutely. They need to keep up their form. That's for sure. Powerz and TJ in particular. We spoke about Powerz loads, of course, on Ritual, performing so well. But TJ has been the man for me, right? He's performed so well against Rise last night, and he's carried it on through against Rebel today. If he can keep up this form, if he can dominate, for example, in the center of Ephyra, other areas on the map, and likewise Demise and Dyslexic, if they can come into their own a little bit as well, Demise perform as he did in the previous match, then this new eUnited, this evolved squad of aggression and hype, they can go very far.
Yeah, well said. Interesting matchup. These two teams match up very, very well, but I completely agree with that sentiment, Toby and Jordan, that we really got to see the Pittsburgh Knights kind of rise to the level of eUnited if they want a chance. They do have the teamwork, though, that's for sure. But let's start to walk through the picks and bans of this one. That's going to be such an interesting thing here. Rib, starting off with the bans.
Yeah, eUnited, they're going to ban Reactor Control, and they're going to ban Clock Tower Execution. On the side of the Knights, interesting. Banning Ritual makes a lot of sense, of course, right? But banning that Canals kind of leaves Ephyra up for grabs, which we talked about United being so strong on Ephyra. Knights are an execution team, so if they end up losing an Ephyra sometime in the cycle, that could be deadly for their cycle. And then, of course, Vazgar Escalation being banned as the one Escalation map.
Yeah, on the side of the picks, though, Toby, interesting picks here.
Yeah, I'd love to see District straight away, right? In the series, we just saw KCP and PK have an insane match on that. KCP were awesome. That's such a toss-up for me, honestly, given how good eUnited have been in Pro League. PK as well. That's going to be an absolute amazing map to start things off. PK, of course, with the checkout execution. Expect them to really perform on that one. In particular, by far and away, the best checkout team. Training Grounds Escalation, though. PK put up a really good fight, actually, against KCP. And I'm surprised, actually, that we go... Well, excuse me, I'm not surprised that we're going to it, especially eUnited picking it, because even eUnited had a fantastic game earlier against Rebel. They were unstoppable 5-0ing there. No shock, we're seeing Speyer come up again against eUnited, their weakest control map. We saw what happened with Rebel. Huge advantage for me for PK going for that one, as really, in terms of control, map pool-wise, they're not as stacked, if you will, as they are in the other 2 modes against eUnited. But if eUnited can get to map number 5, huge deal. They let it through, as you said, Ribs. And so if eUnited honestly can get to that, surely eUnited wins that last map if they do. And you'd expect TJ, Powerz, etc. to really come out the gates off that one. But they need to get there in the first place, and that's a tough bit.
That's spot on. Obviously, the maps are one thing, but there's overall kind of keys to success as well. Let's go ahead and talk through Fran's keys to success franchise, one of the greatest to ever do it. Lucky to have his insights here. Let's get started. I'm not sure which one we're going to be starting with, but eUnited, Ribs, you want to take this one?
Yeah, of course. Play with tenacity. Let TJ and Powerz chef it up. So that chef it up is just classic Fran. Fran literally had to have typed that in, but I agree with him. TJ, in my opinion, has been the best execution player over the last few matches for his team.
What does that mean, chef it up?
Chef it up means let him cook.
Start cooking?
Let him cook. I mean, all the Gears players knows what that means. That means you're getting all your kills, you're hitting every shotgun spread, and you're feeling yourself. That's what TJ was doing yesterday versus Rise, and that's why they won that map 5. And then, of course, solidify execution. Ephyra has been strong. It's been your bread and butter, but can you win checkout? And that's a very good point. Fran, of course, obviously knows what he's talking about. Multi-champion. This makes a lot of sense, especially after we saw that cycle. If they could win that checkout, that's just going to be rest in peace to Knights and all the Latin American hopes of winning the championship.
Yeah, you're spot on. On the flip side, though, we, of course, have the Pittsburgh Knights. Toby, walk me through it.
Yeah, I love these from Fran. Honestly, regain. I mean, it's the first point after losing to KCP in such a way. You got to move on. You have to focus up and play, because that is probably the biggest issue right now for PK going into this one, especially the maps considering, is their mindset. Is it going to be on top form as we've seen the rest of the major, the rest of the pro league? Hey, that remains to be seen. Let's see. Now, stealing and control. I mentioned at first that district control was a bit more of a toss-up between the two. It's been a very good map for them historically, both teams. I think KCP really had the edge on district just because it's KCP, less so. If they can win the first map and then go into checkout, we know how good PK are on that map. We saw them beat KCP. That could be a 2-0 up very quickly indeed. And then eUnited somehow, some way have to win 3 maps in a row, including a Speyer. I mean, that's a huge challenge. So if PK honestly can keep their mind going and win that first one, steal that district control away, they have a huge advantage.
Agreed. Well, it's time for predictions here. This is obviously a tough one. Toby, let's start with you. Who do you think's going to take it?
This is the first time, actually, that I'm going against eUnited this event. I was wrong earlier going with them against KCP. But honestly, I look at these picks and bans from the side of PK, and I'm actually very, very happy with them. Like I said, if they can win that district control and get to check out XE, huge advantage. It doesn't matter if Ephyra was last map, because honestly, eUnited might not even get to that, especially considering how good PK is on TG. They are the best TG team statistically through Pro League this split. And also, Speyer is just such a weak map for eUnited that I just look at these maps instantly and just think PK. Honestly, I think they have this in the bag.
Ribs, how about you?
I'm going to disagree entirely. I think aside from Speyer being the only map that United is bad at, I think they could win the other 4 maps. I was wrong for going against United earlier against Rebel, but I thought I was going to get a different version of Rebel. I've already seen what United is doing today. They all look like they're playing amazing. It's going to be on the shoulders of Demise, though. I feel like he's kind of like the Brawny of the Pioneers, right? He just needs to step it up. He doesn't have to go crazy. He just needs to carry his weight. I feel like the other 3 players on United have already been playing amazing. I want to see this all North American Grand Finals. United's going to win this one 3-1.
You want to see an all North American Grand Final? Who are you? Get him off the desk. Get him off this broadcast team, man. Listen, LATAM is the heart and soul of this community, brother. We got to see some LATAM representation. I'm going with PK. Again, my heart is saying PK. I'll be completely honest with you. I think United's going to win. Let me be very clear. But I'm going with PK regardless for all of the above reasons. We got to manifest, right? Hey, 2 for 1. Me and Toby both going in favor of the Pittsburgh Knights. United's looking really, really sharp right now, though. So I don't know. It's a tough one. It really comes down to whether or not the Pittsburgh Knights can regain. I love that first key to success because they got to be able to recharge, start from scratch, and catch fire here because United has been playing great. But with that said, hey, that's going to be it for us talking heads. Let's bring in our casters here as well as we get ready to send it over to them for this one. My man Blaze is dancing. He's excited. How you feeling, brother?
Yeah, man. It's the losers finals, okay? Pioneers in a position to defend their throne, John, and the 2 teams that's below them, they've already beat them in this tournament already. They're feeling comfortable.
True.
Mm-hmm. I just want them to get some great competition in that finals. But I don't know between these 2 teams who's going to come out on top, be honest.
I don't know, man. It's going to be a close one. But I got to say, I love that you guys are split and Ribs is the deciding factor going eUnited. Toby, Fallout, I can't believe you guys went PK. Well, I can't believe it, but that loss, did you not just see them lose to KCP like they just did?
I did, yeah. I saw that.
Yeah,
I did see that. That's why I said. Don't get me wrong. I really think United's going to win, but I still want PK for the fact that we need LATAM in the
So
finals.
you telling me that you're going to put your perfect prediction record on the line?
I am.
You want to switch it now? Like,
I said the same thing with KCP. I said KCP's going to win, but I did pick PK. So technically, my perfect prediction record is
it's
dead.
gone? All right. Well, you're washed.
It's gone.
Okay.
It's
All
gone.
right.
Well,
Blaze, I
because
wouldn't let him switch
I
either.
got a lot of love for the Mexican Gears of War community. Mexico, I love you guys.
Yeah, you play the crowd
but I
favorite.
gotta go with PK.
You do that.
No,
Hey,
I'm manifesting
now, fine,
what's best
at the
for
end of the
Gears
day,
Esports,
you
Taylor.
roasted ribs for going eUnited and then abandoning Latin America, saying NA, who are you? So Fallout, you can't change it.
You can't,
Why
bro.
would you change it? You want to go PK?
I'm
anyways.
sticking with PK.
I guess
I
it
said
wasn't
PK
a good
from the very
argument,
beginning.
was it?
I'm sticking with it. But hey, let's get gameplay started. Let's throw it over to y'all. Have a great cast, guys. Enjoy the gameplay.
Blaze, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about half the time. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know how you casted me to decipher what I got to say, but Blaze, you're dancing away. It's major time. One match before grand finals, and we got PK and eUnited. This has been a storyline between these two for quite some time now.
No, it truly has been, especially with these two organizations, right? And so eUnited, over the last few times in which they've had to play PK in big matchups, they have got the best of them. Now, I don't know what the Knights are going to do in order to make the adjustments this time around, because the way that they lost against the Pioneers, knowing how important that matchup is,
Right.
they're not feeling good about it, okay? That's obvious. But how can the Knights bounce back in this series? We're about to find out. They have been no strangers trying to win a chip from the losers bracket, okay? They've won a lot of loser bracket finals, let's be honest. So they know that they can get this one done, but it comes down to making sure that they got enough gas to win the chip.
Right.
So let's see if they do.
Gotta have that gas, you do, man. Pittsburgh Knights, they take a heavy loss, but Fran said it best, PK. Their win condition is they need to regain, and they also need to still a control. Both of those I wholeheartedly agree with, but eUnited, they've got to feel all the confidence in the world. They were in loser bracket since second round of obviously the winner's bracket. So they've been here a while. They've been fighting hard, and technically their first round since they had a bye round one. So look, eUnited, no stranger to loser bracket either here, but that's a great opening start for Pittsburgh Knights. You know, you love to see that, Blaze, after they lose on this very map against KCP, and then they win the initial. Maybe Pittsburgh Knights aren't as phased as I thought.
Maybe they are not. That was a fantastic initial for them to be able to win that fight, get set up. You see Fearzly, he'll be able to drop back towards his juice, get some downs for his squad to help them at the cinema, and he'll win his fight against Powerz towards the middle. PK in a great position, but Raver's dropping, and now eUnited, they're in a great spot to start collecting some time. This is where the Knights know they have to rotate towards next, get the spawn. eUnited, they're playing ahead of the game as well, trying to take it. Now Powerz, he has his opponents trapped where he wants. They're gonna probably press him to take him out this position. Oh, Monkyz didn't know. Powerz, he keeps the death staggered. He'll let Monkyz time himself out. Got two players pressing him. He'll get a blind fire and reposition. He may go deep into the spawn.
I would.
Pulling these players far away from the hill. That stun gets the player in the back. You know he can get at least one kill out of it. It was close, but see how he drew back his opponent to that side of the map?
Right.
Allow his teammates to shift down and set up an arcade.
Look at Demise getting that active ready to go. Two players from PK push forward. Demise sends it flying. He gets one of them. And that's going to be a nice kill and a good cleanup from Dyslexic to get both of them. And you brought up a great point. Powerz bringing the competition to the back lines, giving enough time for, obviously, Demise to set up that drop shot. Dyslexic to get into the corner right next to Bandstand. Incredible performance. eUnited, they now have a 44-28 lead, still very early on. And it has been a battle without question. One thing that hurt Rebel was eUnited's ability to be able to just outslay them. Dyslexic has been super consistent this major, and Powerz has been doing deadly things as well.
He definitely has been. Now, the Knights, they're trying to break this setup, but they also know that they can't fight alone. You got some players, you know, taking some 1v1s, but then also on the flip side, the Knights trying to make big decisions on when to join that fight to play off that damage so they're not fighting several different 1v1s. And Dezonide, with a well-timed engagement on the flank to play off his teammates' damage, he'll get those kills for his squad, but the Knights cannot drop back. They have to move forward. Powerz, can he take one to the grave? He cannot. The Knights have full spawn control over P3 at Arcade. They'll be completely set up. Now, TJ is going to be working the bottom side of the map with his duo and Demise. He'll have the shot grenade. Mid-map is going to be dyslexic, and Powerz coming off the respawn down low. We'll see eUnited try to break this from the top side. They want to clear out the rest of the map first.
I feel like this is really, not even arbitrarily, but this is an important hold for Pittsburgh Knights. Not because eUnited could take a significant point lead, but we've seen two pretty successful hills from eUnited. Now that we're moving to the third, and with Pittsburgh Knights setup and also having Monkyz with the drop shot, if eUnited takes this quickly, it could be a big mental barrier for PK. Like I said, just losing to KCP on this very map. So I feel this is a pretty important hold for Pittsburgh Knights to keep their head back in the game. Powerz unmarked. Monkyz sends a drop shot flying. He'll get a hit marker, but Powerz runs deep, and I talked about that retake and how it can affect a Blaze. There's the retake. And eUnited did it by killing 3 members of PK, and I gotta say, I hate to say it, but they did it with ease.
They truly did it with ease, and PK need not be so scared in that type of situation because they played the fight closer towards the info and they got down. They could have honestly dropped back, allowed their opponent to touch the hill, use the drop, trade out their numbers. What, they lose, 10 points throughout it all? But at least they stay alive. And I just didn't like that defensive setup from them. They didn't have a lot of focus, and that probably came from eUnited making their push simultaneously. That's why you push multiple lanes at the same time to make your opponent confused, force them to have to make that perfect play.
And it was also Powerz unmarked too, right? Monkyz sent the drop shot out, but when the drop shot went flying, Monkyz at that point in time, and I don't think he planned it this way, but he started pushing through the smoke and then caught Monkyz off guard and was able to get that kill. So if Powerz was marked, maybe that ends differently, but ultimately eUnited ended up handling. And another bad play for Monkyz. I think that's the second time he's been caught out from Powerz, hiding in the corner. So he's going to have to keep his eyes out. We know Powerz, he's a sneaky guy, all right? Especially on Ritual, you just never know where he's going to be.
You never know where he's going to be, but he knows exactly where everyone is on the map at all times. It's like his superpower, able to find the quickest route to the objective to making a play, and he rarely ever fails. Now, PK, they're going to fail at grouping and getting their numbers together. It's still a 3v3 fight, though. So, as I digress, they'll be able to push towards this hill, starting to get these kills, Taylor. But they got to work together. They got to deal with this shot grenade.
That shot grenade's going to back him up. In the meantime, Demise is still going to be there waiting for the breakout retake attempt from Pittsburgh Knights. 30 seconds remaining, and Demise is going to go through the smoke. He's probably going to get blindsided. Meanwhile, on the hill itself, you see Dyslexic fighting hard. Powerz, though, is going to take down Dezo. But in the hill, Pittsburgh Knights will find... No, they don't recover it because they push out, and eUnited's able to refresh. And what looks to be a positive takeaway for PK now turns into a detrimental one. They're forced to back up now and refight for the hill that they just fought hard to take.
Now you will see eUnited get the rest of the scrap time. That's a huge kill coming in for the Knights, okay? Gotta be able to get them the spawn location to set up for next. Now, it's PK down by 143 points, okay? They have been able to rotate early, at least to P2. They couldn't get it done in P3, but now they'll be able to in P4. Even though it's like back and forth, they are not able to hold the setups initially when they rotate to them. They're getting broken easily, and then they're fighting for scrap time where eUnited's still coming out on top of. So this is where the Knights, they need to win this team fight if they want to stay in this map. If they can't do it, hey, you can almost count them down 0-1.
All right, 193-76. PK forced to come back. Good foothold on the current hill, though. Powerz waiting for either Monkyz or somebody to make a move, but really it's Powerz who needs to make the move. And from the front end, I like that push out. Dezo with Raver is going to be able to at least get 2. Nice job, but did they actually get 2? No. Powerz was there to get the pickup. Dyslexic tried his best, but unfortunately wasn't able to make it happen, and Dezo will pick up 2 for his hard works. And that is a great save and an important one because Pittsburgh Knights now are closing that gap, and all they need is a decent hill to make them feel solid. But watch out, the flank from Powerz and Dyslexic will take down 2.
It was like Raver's shot didn't come out there. Yeah, I thought he was gonna chunk Powerz, but he just completely did the 180 and got to his teammates. So bad timing on when it comes down to the mechanical skill, but 60 seconds on the drop shot. The shot grenade is up. It goes in the hands of Monkyz. This next hill will rotate down low towards Hotel. You see eUnited controlling the spawns. Fearzly is down. He can't get cleaned up. Powerz doesn't rotate too far away from the fight, but he didn't have an out. That's 2 kills coming in for the Knights. They'll be able to transition to down low, but it should be eUnited getting these spawns towards the bottom side. Yep, the cog, you see PJ waited for his team. Now they're a 3-man unit rushing across the bottom portion of the map. They're going to be in a good spot to contest this hill, but they're waiting for their teammate up top and Dyslexic to start drawing some fire his way.
Monkyz big fight, but he's going to get the best taken out of him in that moment. Powerz has had his number, Blaze. I've seen Powerz and Monkyz square off against each other a couple of times. Granted, Monkyz has been blindsided by him at least twice, but Powerz seems to have Monkyz number, and you want to talk about 2 guys who could slay out. That's going to make for an exciting series as a whole. Pittsburgh Knights have come back quite a bit.
They truly have, and it's been impressive, the decision-making, okay? Because you've seen as eUnited engaged and tried to flank the spawn side, the other players of the Knights who are defending the hill says, we're going to be proactive and try to fight our fight down here and get the kills, because they can tell based off their teammates' comms. If they're sitting next to them, hell, maybe it looks on their faces that fight may not go the way in which is planned. So we have to be proactive on the map, looking for the engagements while the numbers are even before they're out of their favor.
This mounting up, Raver at the forefront, the tip of the spear. This is for the hill. I like the flank from one, but I didn't know Dyslexic was also waiting in the shadows. They're going to be cleaned up quite succinctly. It's going to be Raver and Fearzly in the United. They're going to start where they at least had success, and that's off that first hill in Cinema. Dyslexic trying to keep Dezo back in the meantime. United will surpass the 200-point mark. If they can find good success here on this hill, they could be just 50 points away from victory. Pittsburgh Knights, they're going to need to retake it soon. They are mounting up to do so. Let's see if they'll find success.
Now, as the Knights, they got the mark on Powerz there towards the juice. They know that it's a clean 3v3 fight on the low side. Now, as TJ gets a deep smoke, blocks off the sight line, Monkyz tried to cut towards middle, but Powerz hit the cross. Now he has to deal with Fearzly in the middle. Demise, he'll hold his angle with the right. Not gonna move. He'll move in, get the chunk traded out by Dezo, 2v2. Dyslexic goes down, 1v1 situation, Dezo versus TJ. And TJ can't get it done this time around. Dezonide clears the hill. PK collecting on time. They also are about to get the new shot grenade and put themselves in position for the new drop. eUnited, they're kind of indecisive on how they want to make the next play, but they have to play for the power weapons.
I agree. Power weapon's going to make a big deal. You see them mounting up to potentially go for it. They only send one guy, and that's going to be Powerz. And, well, he's in a 1v2, and Dezo gets the pick right in front of him. I think Powerz was stunned, so he couldn't do anything. And Pittsburgh Knights have a very real chance to take map number 1.
That's a good trade.
One of the win conditions was take one of the controls from eUnited. They might be able to do that. You mentioned a great trade. Well, look at Pittsburgh Knights now set up 10 toes deep on the new hill. We could have a lead change, which is something I didn't see taking place in Dyslexic dead from Dezo, and that was the drop shot, the power weapon you said eUnited needed to fight harder for.
All right, so eUnited, as they are trying to push through the juice, they're going to lose Powerz and Demise. Well, Powerz at least. Demise gets revived again. He'll stay in the fight for now. It's eUnited stuck hip to hip. They'll be able to clean up another kill. Now they're trying to transition down low with 50 seconds on the hill. Powerz gets the spawn that he wanted. He has the pinch on these Knights members as they're desperately trying to fight their way out of the situation eUnited has created. eUnited collecting on time. They'll protect their lead for now. This is where the Knights, they have to have a composure, because you can quickly make a bad decision because you don't want eUnited to get any more time. But this is where you're going to have to give up some time just to make sure you become a full squad. You take those few extra seconds to get on the same page.
I think for PK, keep the hill contested with Monkyz and then try and slowly rotate and trickle your players over towards the next hill. And I think that's what Pittsburgh Knights is trying to do. Dezo's going to be the front runner for that. TJ, though, I love his positioning for EU. He's going to be able to see the PK members if they're going to be rotating off. He backtracks, though. And now I'm curious about players 3 positioning, because Dezo could very well make some big impact plays. He has been spotted, but he's going to be the main deciding factor as to whether or not he can hold on to the next hill for Pittsburgh Knights. But a big mid battle underway. They're fighting for the fresh drop. Powerz is going to manage to get the cleanup. Fearzly is going to drop as well. He doubles back, gets his teammate back into the play. And obviously, we'll wait for the fresh drop, which is going to come up at the moment. Now, I mentioned player 3 actually died off, but still, though, Pittsburgh Knights, I mean, they got to recover here. And this is the hill that they lost very easily before, Blaze.
Yeah, that is the hill that they lost. But on the other side, it was PK who had the hold. Now they're on offensive trying to get the break. That's a good stun on Dyslexic, but no one's able to get the damage on TJ, and that's a double drop. Raver just has to stay alive. Dezonide can't do anything. eUnited, they're going to take a breath, and they're thinking about victory. They might even be thinking about map number 2 at this point.
Right.
Last push from PK. They're rushing towards the top side. They got to move through the choke. Demise gets the call out to his team. You got some early flashes being tossed. No nades on the side of eUnited. They have nothing, but it is a player able to contest the hill up under. He has to deal with TJ. That's a great down. That's 2 kills. This round will continue. This map will continue as you'll start to see eUnited get set up for the next hill down low. They got to get into their fight. EK will meet them. They'll hold their angles in their right hand.
It's a great job for Pittsburgh Knights to continue to fight tooth and nail for every inch of the map. eUnited 7 points away, but District is a different beast, man. And we have seen teams be that close to victory and yet fall flat at the very end. Pittsburgh Knights, if they can just, keep it together for a little bit. Monkyz showing life. And he will run through one player, unfortunately shut down shortly after, and all the heroics will still put eUnited in control of the fresh hill, forcing Pittsburgh Knights to make the push. They're going to have a 3 frontal man unit push onto the left side. They've got to get in there. Shock's going to be out. First one's going to be cleaned up. Demise, though, will drop in mid. This is a big kill, like you said. Pittsburgh Knights, they do have the hill, but can they get the cleanups around it? That's the big question. Any member they lose, that puts them closer to a loss, and well, Blaze, I think that's going to be all she wrote with that final chunk. 300 to 244. eUnited will start off losers finals with a 1-0 lead.
eUnited, they get it done, Taylor, and a great performance from them. They were able to mount a big lead early on in this game. They were doing a great job breaking PK's setups within the first 4 hills. They were really scrappy as well. They got a lot of time. And because, the Knights, they tried to play some great control, okay? When they lost those fights, they were rotating early, but they just kept losing fights ultimately. And after eUnited surmounted that lead that they had by like 140, they had all the cushion in which they need to really just constantly keep the advantage in their favor by rotating early and setting up and taking their numbers.
Even though Pittsburgh Knights loses map 1, they didn't lose it as dramatically as I thought they were, Blaze. At the start, when eUnited took that massive lead, I really thought that KCP matchup hurt Pittsburgh Knights a lot, especially Monkyz, who was getting chunked left and right. Granted, it's because Powerz was kind of hiding. By the way, love the first play, just we see Fearzly just get smacked around. Regardless, though, you got to be thinking, though, for Pittsburgh Knights, they lose map number 1, but they understand eUnited, they thrive on controls, Blaze. It's important for PK to win a control, but they're not going to win this one, and that's fine. They still have checkout execution coming up next, but I still think there's hope for PK. With the way that they came back and they never gave up, I respect that a lot.
Yeah, you have to, okay? They kept this first map respectable. And we're coming up on execution checkout and training grounds escalation. 2 of PK's best maps as a team. Also, let's not forget, the only reason why they even made it to the grand finals before is because they were winning every execution and escalation when we came down to our last major. These are their best 2 game modes. So the fact that they kept map number 1 close, hey, the assignment is still there. The game plan is there. They didn't get the win, but they knew it was going to be tough. Now they have to focus on checkout execution. If they take that, hey, this series is still in a good spot for them.
100%. If they lose it, well, you could raise some questions, but I mean, when does Pittsburgh Knights lose checkout? Like, very, very rarely. They didn't even lose it to KCP, despite it being exciting going to around 11, but you're 100% correct. Checkout execution is where PK thrives. This is their chance to tie up the series 1-1, head into Training Grounds. And you know what? Training Grounds isn't a bad map for Pittsburgh Knights, specifically against eUnited. Yeah, they've taken some losses to them. Actually, I don't think eUnited has lost to Pittsburgh Knights in the past month, guys. That's including all the E-days. They ended up beating them in Grand finals, and only one of the 3 times did the series go to a map number 5. But I do think, with it being a major weekend and with Pittsburgh Knights playing as well as they are, plus, come on, they don't want Dyslexic going to grand finals. Let's not kid ourselves, okay? PK wants to reclaim the throne. We'll see if they'll be able to do so. Checkout's going to be a great turning point.
Nah, it really is going to be a good turning point. And regardless which one of these 2 teams go into the grand finals, it's going to be some LATAM representation, all right? Rather if it's the entire squad of the Knights or if it's Dyslexic looking to pull a Knight Denis, and be a sole crown holder of his own. Well, he won't be the sole one. He'll have to share it, but he got it without an entire LATAM team, which is something to be said, right. Because, a lot of those LATAM players who won, only one, he had to go join the NA team at the time. Now, I will say when it came down towards the skill of the 2 regions, NA was definitely better at that portion of Gears Esports during Gears 4, but now it's definitely even. I think it's 50-50 between NA and LATAM. So soon we will get another LATAM champion, but it's still to be said if it's going to be this event.
It's, is it going to be this event? Is it not? Pittsburgh Knights not moving into grand finals from winners is a big blow. But, second place last major, they made it through losers, like you said, right? That time around, they ended with Chaos instead of Fearzly. There's still a chance here. But eUnited is definitely their arch nemesis. And also, I want you guys to know, if eUnited had to beat any team in the bracket, Pittsburgh Knights is the team they want to beat. So this is a personal matchup. I don't know if PK feels as strongly. I know they want to beat EU as well, but this is a matchup throughout Split 2 that has always been hotly contested, more so in E-Days. Obviously, they only played once in Pro League, but regardless, though, this is a personal one between both of these rosters, Blaze.
Yeah, it really is a personal one, not even just over the last month, but over the last 2 years, Pittsburgh Knights versus eUnited has been a hot storyline. Pittsburgh Knights have historically the best LATAM players in the region on their squad. Yep. They are always in finals, and eUnited the same. They have had a dynasty roster up under their banner before, and they honestly they could have another one depending on how they perform over the next 2-3 hours. If they can come out on top with this major, they'll have that confidence in the next split of Pro League, in the next majors as well, to be able to defend that title. And then, you got Powerz adding on to his legacy and just stacking up those chips with different rosters. So this is an important event for him to win as well.
So Checkout, why is PK so good on Checkout, and why is it so difficult to beat him?
It has to be because they have that double-edged sword. You got Raver playing there towards the inside, and Monkyz is going to be there behind them in the middle. So, but Raver, he's super aggressive on that platform, and he forces people to play to him. He understands the timing of his game very, very well, and he takes advantage of it. Also, you still have Dezonide in the back lane, who is always pressing up, utilizing that smoke, and forcing that player back there to have to worry about him. That's Dezonide setting the pace for his team. He can throw shots on the inside. He can have Monkyz rotated out to him to get the revive on a quick pick. But between those two, they will always find a first blood in the play for their team. And they got Monkyz playing between, and Monkyz knows who needs his help more important than the other.
And Raver, just that name alone, man, it strikes fear in me at least, right? We've seen him play so incredibly well throughout Split 2. This major, he's been making miraculous plays. And, well, if Raver is going to command attention on the instance, on that platform fight, hey, it only tells me that eUnited needs to find a way to counteract him, whether that's with Lancers or, timing your stun bet or getting in your face. They need to shut Raver down because you're right. Pittsburgh Knights and First Bloods, they know how to find them. And being a man down on Checkout puts you at a tremendous disadvantage because it's all about that big team fight that we see on the Checkout stands. And if you're in a 4v3, make that a 4v2, the chances of you winning that round, even if you have snipe, even if you have instants or nades, it dwindles down by a massive, massive percentage. But hey, this is an important map, guys. Pittsburgh Knights, they don't lose Checkout often. But will they lose it this time? Well, it's up to eUnited. They've got to find a way to battle against Raver, Dezo, and the rest of the boys on PK.
Monkyz and Raver, they'll stack together, go out wide, a good shot on Demise. I will see a scope maybe getting picked up, but Dezonide gets too close. Powerz hits a fantastic shot, and eUnited on the offensive, just when they were on their back heels, they will be able to find the 2 kills that they need. Chainsaw battle gets the third. Actually, just a free chainsaw kill right there. It wasn't a battle. It was just a massacre.
Just a massacre. Jeez, man. Texas Chainsaw. Is it Halloween?
Not yet.
Not yet. Not in the winter major.
But I'm ready for Spooktacular season.
What are you dressing up as this year?
I am dressing up as
Hero Academia, somebody, right?
Yeah. You know, we talk about Halloween all year round, you know, but you know, I'm gonna be the captain next year, you know. I'm gonna throw smoke.
I love it. Deza with the sniper. Big body shot on Powerz. That'll back him up. Dyslexic on the flank, though, and can he disrupt the fight enough? Well, Deza's going to whip a shot onto him, too. Still 4v4. Teams breaking up. I got to say, look at the mini-map plays. Look at everybody just scattering themselves out.
Yeah, Raver he had to back up super wide because he was getting pinched. eUnited knew that they had PK going towards the spawn, and they tried to keep him trapped there. But as these battles broke out on an individual basis, it's the Knights who had better target selection, helping out their teammates around them to get that extra damage in, for them to get their numbers.
All right, 1-1 all tied up. Good recovery from Pittsburgh Knights. Dyslexic breaking the mold, going wide up top, getting the nades, throwing them out to no effect. Does he continue to do that, or will he be more useful in the team fight with his boys down there on the checkout stands? Let's find out as we head into round number 3. Powerz on your screen, 3 kills to his name. Bulk of those coming, obviously, from round number 1. Plus, he had that first blood. So if you wanted anybody to get your first blood consistently, you'd want him. We do see Dyslexic going for the nades once again. Pittsburgh Knights takes the opportunity to swing low, get the quick pick on the snipe. Powerz, though, is going to get a trade, and that should bring it to a 3v3, but maybe only momentarily as eUnited loses another member.
Powerz, he almost wanted to push through that smoke, but I think he had to dodge some nades. He had a lot of damage on those players, and he knows there ain't much he can do in this situation. It's going to be PK getting themselves another round, and that's off the back of aggressive play out wide towards that snipe. You saw a good shot come in from Raver to kick it all off. Even though he got down, once PK was able to back up, they hit eUnited out in the open exactly where they wanted, and they were able to have that team fire to get the kills.
All right, Pittsburgh Knights continues to lead the way, man. And again, this is such a critical map for them to take. And even though things get scary, they do have that composure. TJ, though, getting above Raver, getting the incense. It's obviously because PK went down low to pick up the snipes. Both incense missed, though. You got PK trapped in mid-checkout lanes, but eUnited's unable to capitalize.
This is slowing down a lot. You see a Powerz going out wide. He got the frags. Cut off nades deep behind multiple players. Not going to equate to any kills. But Dezonide trying to get out with his team. They'll rotate the entirety of the map. eUnited spreads all the way out. But this is where PK has to wolf pack with Dezo close by. He's going to be trying to find some shots, hit some body shots. That's a good frag. Didn't get anyone, just splash damage. That's a big down. Revive, double down, no cleanup. Revive, another down. Powerz goes down, 4v3 for the Knights. They recover, and eUnited trying to collapse, but they're not quick enough. They scurry back, trying to regroup. TJ caught out. Another 4v2 for the Knights. It's going to be up to Demise, Dyslexic, and they're going to be on their knees.
Pittsburgh Knights, Blaze, are just so impressive with the way that they prioritize fights and also Wolfpack and utilize their numbers against EU. I feel like any team that they play against, they always find a way, speaking in terms obviously of Pittsburgh Knights, find a way to isolate players or isolate fights that just benefit them number-wise, and they do such a good job at doing that, and Checkout is just so difficult to beat them because of that very aspect. For Dyslexic, he has to go down the checkouts, and that's exactly what he's going to do, so we're going to have a good old-fashioned 4v4. Raver this time fighting for the incense.
And he hits a good shot on TJ. He can't turn that corner. Demise tries to get the down, but that's a quick revive. Demise fails. Instant comes through. 4v2 once again. Up to Powerz and Dyslexic, trapped in the checkout lanes. But it's only going to be them. You can make a decision. You can make the play. Dyslexic can't do it. Powerz has no hope.
No hope. Does eUnited have hope? I don't know at this point. 4 in a row. 4-1. Pittsburgh Knights continues to play so well. Blaze, you highlighted Raver on that platform fight. That first shot that he hit, like you said, was so beautiful. Demise did everything in his power to try and wrap around. Pittsburgh Knights knew it was coming, and they shut him down before he even was able to get started, my goodness. For eUnited, They need to really start chaining together some rounds, keep PK away from that coveted match point. Dyslexic going back to his old vices, heading up top, getting the nades. He doesn't flake this time, but by the time he gets there, is he even going to have a team to play with?
Yeah, I think he may. 3v3,
yeah!
one less member.
Oh!
That's another down. Powerz, he dodges the shot, he gets it down. But he takes the shots in the back, and that's going to be PK up 5-1, 5 straight rounds. And, you know, as Fran said on the keys to victory, yeah, you're good at Ephyra, but can you win checkout?
Don't think so. Hey, watch Dezo again. Watch that. I want to know what level book or which book did he read for this one, Blaze?
You know, honestly, that's in book 101. You know, slow down, plant your feet, go for the shot, little back roll. You know, he hit it.
Okay, so, you know, nothing too crazy, right? He's not on book 3, but book 101's all you need. At the end of the day, you just need your ABCs. And, man, that guy Dezo, he's got it. Once again, eUnited going down low. Go for Pittsburgh Knights went to try and pick up the sniper. They actually don't get it. They back up. The ensigns were conceded to eUnited, but one was sent flying, and it doesn't have an impact. So TJ has one more remaining. And the good thing is they did get first blood onto Monkyz. So this is a round eUnited has the advantage on, and we haven't seen that too often.
We have not. And eUnited capitalizes on that advantage, picking up 3, picking up 4. They stay alive for now, but they have to have that same response that the Knights had 5 rounds in a row. They got to take it one at a time, but right there, they had a better showing, able to get those incinerators off the plat, and that was able to get them the round win. So eUnited just needs to protect themselves from the first bloods. If they are having a hard time getting first blood on the plats, they need to at least make sure they can get the power weapons for Powerz so he can create an opening for them.
All right, 2-5, eUnited. That's only one round. Many more are needed. Raver this time will be pushing directly into Dyslexic, but Dyslexic holds its ground, and that kill feed lights up completely blue as Monkyz will fall. Demise will pick up 1, and into the blender, PK goes 2 rounds back-to-back. Very convincingly won from eUnited. And I'm not even going to put the juju on you as to, hey, is eUnited going to come back or not? But I'm just going to say eUnited playing better those last 2 rounds than we've seen in the entirety of this checkout map.
They really have been. And it's off the back of TJ. We got to watch him, okay? He's up there. He's looking fresh, and, you know, so far he's been able to win that battle to get the incineraries. He has the smoke in hand. Up-A's it, gets it on the other side. 2 flashes on the plat. The one on the back stuns Raver. He'll get a free shot on Fearzly, but the fadeaway made it a 3v3, but Powerz is able to get the inside kill. 2v2, 2v1, and it's the Knights taking the map.
Wow, they take the map, and that means they tie up the series, but I was getting a little bit worried. Those 2 rounds were dominant in 7-8. Even round 9 started off great with TJ getting the first blood, but you know what, Blaze? At the end, Pittsburgh Knights, they hold their ground, they regain momentum, regain composure, and that means we have Trading Grounds Escalation is going to be coming up next. That's going to be a fun one to watch, a lot to break down, but that's going to have to wait until we come back from the break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Gears 5 Winter Major. Did I have a weird stutter there? My internet must be going out again. Gears 5 Winter Major presented by the Batman. I'm Taylor Reflections Noble, joined by Guy Blaze. What a series we have. And Blaze, you said it after the break, man. This is a series now.
It truly is a series now. You got eUnited. They couldn't get map number 2 under their belt, but they look good at map number 1 for the control. And on the flip side, EK, they're able to take the execution on checkout. Both teams taking their more favorite game mode in these series, but as we know, Escalation is really going to tell the tale of this tape, because who can get out to that 2-1 lead? Training Grounds, it embodies both game modes, and both these teams are super talented on it. As far as strategy goes, it's going to be hard to see, because when these teams decide to play center line weapons and make some decisions, some impactful decisions on the map to switch it up, it's going to come off how the first 2 to 3 rounds get played out. Are they winning their initials? Are they quick enough? Is the team fight there? Is the game plan they started off with working? And once we get that intel, we'll know who is forced to make that first move on Escalation. But hey, we're all tied up now, 1-1. I will love a map number 5, and I think we all would, but it's going to come down to who can take this escalation.
You know, it really does come down to who can take this escalation. And I'll be straight up with you. I think eUnited needs to win this escalation because Speyer is a map that might not work too well for them. We saw that earlier against Rebel. They ended up losing 300 to 235. It wasn't the worst loss in the world, but they also didn't look the best on that map. Granted, map number 1, very early start after a late finish on Saturday, but no excuses here. We can't make those. But one thing that I do know after Pittsburgh Knights winning that checkout is I can throw the narrative of, is PK, do they have the momentum, and are they ready to win? Because clearly they are. So that KCP matchup that they just lost, it's history's past. It doesn't even matter at this point. It's a fresh series. Pittsburgh Knights are just as mentally sound as you would expect them to be, and they need to be in order to work their way back up to that rematch against KCP in grand finals. So I really do like that. But Training Grounds is a map that both teams are very well versed on. And last time they played it, other than E-Days, which I don't have the stats in front of me for that, but at least for Pro League, they lost 5-2. And I'm talking about eUnited lost. Pittsburgh Knights won 5-2. They played it incredibly well. Thanks for Toby for that stat line.
Yeah, and that's a great one. Now, even regardless of that stat line, I think that this is still going to be a must win for the Knights in his favor, because I don't think the Knights is going to win that control. I got to be honest. Even though the Knights are good on that Speyer control, I don't think that's going to be their map against eUnited. So in order for them to get to this game 5, they need to take this escalation. If eUnited wins this map, I think they take this series in a 3-1. And that's really how important it's going to be. We know it. Map number 3, escalation. The Knights, they need Raver. Okay, he is what makes them super strong when it comes down towards these game modes in escalation and execution being off the initial. But Raver doesn't play. I believe Raver does not play the overlook for his team on his map. You know, that's more of a Dezonide position with Monkyz close by. But he needs to be the tip of the spear for this team in one of these fights, because we know how good he is at getting those first blood.
Well, Raver is instrumental to the success of Pittsburgh Knights, whether that be on control, execution, or obviously here when it comes to escalation. So I agree with that, Blaze. I really do. Raver is going to be bringing the action, just like the Batman's going to be bringing the action. You don't want to miss it. The Batman in theaters only on March 4th. I can't wait for the movie personally. And Blaze, the only question I have is, are we going to watch it together?
Hell yeah, we are. Okay, but if we can, I'm definitely going because I need to see Catwoman in action. I gotta be honest.
Hey, we know why you're going. We know why. I'm going to see Catwoman too. Come on, I'm your boy. Right. I'm right there with you.
Don't get me wrong. Hey, yo, I love me some Robert Pattinson as well. Okay, I think he is a fantastic actor and truly a heartthrob. Okay, we saw it from the Twilight years, but to see him in a darker role. All right, to see him bringing vengeance, to see him being Batman in his younger years before he realized that he was the Dark Knight, he had to struggle first. Just like our teams here on the main stage had to struggle a bit before they were champions. But without adversity, can you really reach your true potential? We're about to find out.
Blaze, I love the words you say sometimes. I fall in love with you every single time we do a broadcast, all right? You take that for what it is. And I hope you run with it. I really do. In the right direction, and that's towards
I'm dashing.
Hey, you are, baby. Hey, you really are. Pittsburgh Knights, great start through that overlook. And speaking of which, not just overlook, they're also on the neutral. eUnited, you got to get a touch, brothers. If you don't, the round's already over with. Monkyz up close. And, Blaze, I think the round's over with.
It's not over with yet.
It's over.
Powerz is still alive.
It's over.
Now it's over. Officially, PK. It was a great initial from them. They were able to get that first kill, and from there, it was easy pickings, man. A great round of escalation. They were able to press their lines up succinctly, and Dezonide, boy, look at the support from his team. Fearzly and Monkyz supported for the 5 kills in which he got, okay? They had his back. Once he got the first one, he never stopped.
Never stopped. Never stopped indeed. PK, they are incredible here. Now, Boltalk, bottom left. Pittsburgh Knights have been known on the first, well, it was really round 1 that one time, but they've been known to place something bottom right or bottom left and then overextend 4 strong. and then go through the neutral and then go up towards A. We've seen it. We haven't seen it yet, but they have been known to throw out some trick strats. So that Bold Talk, where it's placed at, might mean we're going to be seeing something brand new come out from PK.
We just might. Now, Dezonide, he's going to get a great shot on Powerz at the top. He'll back down. Him and Monkyz working together, trying to clean up these downs. They got some support fire coming in from Raver. Demise will be able to capture this B hill for free because PK, they're putting everything in winning this battle and playing for the home hills. Dezonide takes down Dyslexic, and it's going to be TJ trapped in the back. He'll be taken out as well, and the strategy works out for the Knights. Home hill setup. Raver, he'll go capture B. Demise, he had to stay there to fight that 1v1. Instead, he groups up with his team, and it's a bad rotation from him. Dezo, they stepped out at the hill. That would have been a victory for him, but instead, this round continues at least for a bit.
For a bit. It might be over very shortly, though. Those Botox shots from Monkyz are just peppery eUnited, and that's going to be officially it. PK, 2 back-to-back rounds in just a little over a minute. Matter of fact, that first round might not even have been a minute, but either way, 2 very dominant rounds. And eUnited doesn't have a kill.
Yeah, they don't. And so check this out. I love the placement here from PK, because what needs to happen very soon, sooner rather than later, is that Raver versus Demise, okay? That's going to be a 1v1 that's going to be taking more times than not. Raver that round had faith and trust in his teammates. What the? We got a Marks on the map?
Now how?
Monkyz did Monkyz call for that? The Monkyz, what? Okay. We got something here. We got something new for the losers finals. Now, I'm going to go back to saying that Raver and Demise, that 1v1 is about to start popping soon. It's going to be annoying for Raver because Demise is one of the best reactional defensive 1v1 players out there. But we'll tell that story in a bit. TJ, he'll get the marks this time around, and he's going to back up with it. On the flip side, it was the Knights who prioritized getting the 2-cap. They got overlook control. They helped Raver out. They'll get a player in God spot.
Yo, TJ, I mean, just absolutely bodied Dezo. Like, Dezo, he just stood there like he's taking a picture, man. He's like, take a picture, lasts longer. TJ mows that man down. And it looks like eUnited's going to try and capitalize with the overextension. Dezo's going to be the one trying to keep him at bay. 1v2 now. Nice shot onto Dyslexic, but that's all it's going to be. And a domination might be ticking through as long as they can hold on. And TJ is just a force with the marks. I'm going to be honest with you. I thought the marks was placed just so a sniper doesn't go there. And PK didn't even want to try and fight for cave. They wanted to play more objectively. But, like, now you have to, like, seriously contest TJ because his accuracy and hit, the damage he's outputting from the marks is actually dangerous. And TJ wins that.
That is wild that he comes out with that double kill, but he'll be anchored on top of B. His teammates still have the 2v1 on PK's home hill with A being capped. A well-placed flash on the ground, gets a touch, he backs up. It's a little touch again, no revive comes through. Winnable for the Knights. They're in this fight. That's a trade. They couldn't get the last kill, but they're back in it. The flash drops the meat, but no one else is close enough. This should be the capture for sure. Yeah, Fearzly knows it. All right, so what a great play coming out for the Marks. That was a must-win round for PK, if you ask me. The reason why is because we're about to get the incinerator grenade placed or the shot grenade placed.
Watch this. I mean, just have you seen anybody lose his life quicker? You think TJ just sniped Dezo? Like, that's
quick
how
shots.
quick. Like, ooh. And then TJ's played here.
And you know, that's just a little preview of what that weapon can do on this map. And it's great because we haven't seen it in a while, you know?
Right.
But the marks are going to be super powerful, especially if you got great trigger control. 24 shots in a clip, and that gun gets headshots from afar, especially if your teammates already got great team fire. Get a few single shots with that gun, man. You are really putting out that damage, and as we know, damage is currency. TJ gets it for free once again. But even with the Knights placing that weapon down, they're not putting a lot of emphasis around it. They're playing for the overlook fight. TJ's doing a good job dropping back to his teammates and getting set up with the weapon. the Knights literally, it's like they placed the weapon and they confused themselves.
Well, like I said, I think they placed it with the intention of just not wanting the sniper there. Like, they didn't want the potential of giving the sniper to Powerz. But I mean, like, you gotta, I mean, especially after that last round, like, even me, I'm looking at that and saying TJ can't have the marks again. Like, he just simply cannot. But they let him get it, and they're letting him have Overlook basically for free. It's not even really for free, it's just because they can't even get anywhere close because, I mean, eUnited is just absolutely turning up.
I don't know, yeah. So, like, as soon as that center line power weapon came out, eUnited started running strategies to quick pick it every single round, and they played a little bit back, and it's worked out for them. The domination will come through.
Wow.
eUnited gets this one all tied up 2-2. Okay, so, and yeah, so eUnited, they started playing for the quick pick, but PK, they ran a same base strategy that they did the first 2 rounds, and they didn't send anyone in that area to do anything about it. And so we see, we'll see the the Talon placed up top.
He placed it, even know what's going on at this point.
No, you know, as I'm looking at it, I'm just trying to understand where is PK trying to get their damn advantage from. You know, they've lost the advantage, and they're gonna lose the advantage this round since the fact that eUnited has that incendiary grenade. That's going to be a free nade to take over Overlook to use for that E-heal. This should be an eUnited round as long as they play their advantages in their favor.
Yeah, I mean, round 1, PK places, or round 2, excuse me, they place a Bolt Hawk down low, which is uncharacteristic. You don't see that because you're normally building for an instant or a shock up top. Then they placed a Markza, and now they're playing catch-up, trying to obviously get their retro. This is the first time they're challenging Cave Blaze for the Markza, which, again, you have to do. But by doing so, you're also giving up the neutral, but it's a give and take. Yeah. Well, I don't know what that was.
But they're challenging it now, but they should have challenged it round 3, not round number 5. Because if they could have won one of those other rounds, that's when you put the incendiary grenades and a shot grenade center line to really kind of stop your opponent from getting that free nade on their side, especially when it comes down to incendiaries. But instead, it's eUnited. After losing the first 2 rounds, they're commanding this map. Momentum is in their favor. Set to win a 3rd round. They're going to start pushing up into Overlook. TJ trap back you. Almost trying to get one to the grave. Can't get it done. And it's going to be a Knights capping the E-Hill, Taylor.
They're losing their home, so eUnited still going to stay up with the 2-1. That's going to force PK to either break out, go back to their home hill, which I think is a smarter play, but Powerz has been an absolute nuisance with the retro behind enemy lines, so Pittsburgh Knights will continue to stay at a hill disadvantage. Meanwhile, eUnited can mount up a strategy, and they can actually pincer in. You got 3 members from PK who's on E. They can pincer in easily, and well, I say easily, you know, with an asterisk, but maybe take it over. PK's trying to break out now. I like that they're focused on Powerz and Dyslexic. Good. They fixed their back end problem. Now they can focus on the front end, which was only Demise at that moment. That's a great recovery from Pittsburgh Knights, but they still have some work to do, but with the way that they're wiping EU off the map, they're committing everything.
That should be a dom. It's going to be a 2v2 fight here on the back. They dodged the flashes, but for how long? They need a quick kill now so they can keep the numbers advantage in their favor. There's 2 kills. That's a 3v2. This should be a Pittsburgh Knights round, and this is one that they needed. They survived a situation that they put themselves in. They could not let that lead go over towards eUnited there.
All right.
It was really bad. Like that. You know, we gave them. We were curious about the marks at the start. But how they played it the 2 rounds afterward was terrible.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it was actually horrendous. I mean, you go from 2 rounds in a row that finish in a domination and you shut out eUnited without a single kill to 2 rounds back-to-back where you allow TJ to run all over you with the Markza. It was just polar opposite of what we seen at the beginning, and it was so weird. PK trying to throw out, you know, obviously a curveball, which has worked in the past, but that just wasn't the play. But maybe a bit of a recovery here, Blaze. They are challenging TJ down low. They're getting that out of his hands, maybe. No, so TJ is going to be a nuisance once again. And Raver, watch out, brother. You got some players to your right.
Yeah, that's Powerz and TJ together. Also got Demise close by. Or that's, yeah, right up under. They're trying to back up. Powerz is going to get 2v1, but TJ, well-timed shot. They'll get the cleanup. And that's 3 being picked up for eUnited. They'll get the E hill. They already got their home hill locked in. Monkyz trying to stay alive, and he will. He'll buy his team some time, and he'll have that Botox to lock down that low lane. But ultimately, eUnited, they want to hold the E and D hill. And they're about to honestly take the Knights to school.
Take the Knights to school. Not going to be a good lesson today, though. They might fail the test, all right, depending on how well they studied. PK needs to make something work here. 94 and moving up forward for eUnited in points. Dyslexic backing off. Powerz laying down, of course, that damage. And TJ ready to be a nuisance with the retro once again, especially if they see Pittsburgh Knights go for that 2-2 split, which I don't think they need to do. They need to send another player to push through that choke point, but right now they're kind of stagnated. If they just push it with 2 players, it's not going to work. So, and might not even work before it even gets started. Great ensign, forced Raver out. Raver then gets dropped. Pittsburgh Knights, are they going to make an adjustment? It seems like it. Player 3 is playing around with the flank.
This is the lesson right here. How do you hold a 2-hill setup? eUnited did a great job utilizing their nades at the choke. They knew that was going to force their opponent on a rotation. TJ had that one watched over. They staggered the deaths, and now they're forcing PK to make individual plays where eUnited has number advantages, and they will show their numbers with ease just to let these players know that this is not going to be an easy fight. Making Monkyz frantically rotate towards the spawn and play his life. It's been a great hold for eUnited, and so far none of these heals have been broken. The Knights trying to find an opening, but eUnited controlling the map, giving the Knights a great lesson on how to hold.
Wow, yeah. And eUnited's always been a great team, even going back to Kenny, who can set up and just hold the map, and play the long game. I like eUnited's Escalation. I really do. I think they play quite well. Look at the stats, by the way. eUnited KDA-wise, not really impressive. None of them shining. Powerz, he's positive. You got TJ, who's barely positive, but Dyslexic, Demise aren't. Got the damage, though. They have the damage. But if you look at the damage done and, at least the stats from PK, I guess it's not excellent, but still, though, a lot of that stat line comes from the first 2 rounds, where they kind of tore it up and they took off. But ever since, they've kind of stagnated. But everything's even at this point. You still got that weird Marksa that's in cave, but finally we see ensigns and retros for both rosters. So now that we do have the ensign for PK, maybe things change a bit.
Yeah, maybe they do. And that stat line is indicative of eUnited quickly being able to end these rounds when they get impactful kills and getting the most out of them, versus the Knights having a few scrappier rounds, okay? Having to work a little bit harder to close them out. Now, Powerz will be able to get out the Marksa, and eUnited, they are, I want to say 5 for 5, 4 for 4 with the quick pick on it. And working out for them very well. Now, a capture is going to happen at E, and the Knights will be able to sit back for a little. But you hear that Marksa thumping. He'll down Fearzly as he tries to cross the map.
And Fearzly did get the Marksa once, but he got chunked right after that, so he didn't even get to fire a single shot from it. So eUnited, every time they've got the Marksa, they put it to use. You said it was thumping. Well, Powerz is kind of pinned up in the meantime, though. Dyslexic's going to alleviate some of that pressure. Surely Powerz can break away now from down low. Actually, he does drop, right? No, he's still good to go. He's still good to go.
Ain't pinned up. He got the Knights pinned down. Okay? There's a big difference.
Oh, so they're trapped in the cage with him. He's not trapped in the cage with them.
Nah, he had him pinned down. So, Monkyz, he's going to try to take the lower route, Taylor. He got Raver by his hip. They're going to use the smoke to get them a little bit closer, but Demise will pre-fire, not let anyone down as Powerz gets 2 headshots with the Marksa. Like I said, he got him pinned down. The Knights can't go anywhere.
Can't go anywhere at all. I don't know. This has been a weird training grounds. I'm going to be completely honest.
Here's another headshot.
You think so? Let's see it happen.
It's going to come. The way that Dyslexic is getting the damage on these players is crossing. Powerz is going to catch him out in the open.
Powerz holding on to it, though. Powerz wants to refresh. He only has 7 bullets, so he's going to make sure or 6 bullets now. He's going to make sure he uses them. When he's got a nice lineup, a good shot, gives somebody a good fade, but in the meantime, Pittsburgh Knights continue to push forward onto E. If they fail this push, that's going to be GG. eUnited's going to be at 4-3 map point.
2v2 fight on the back. Raver's going to join it. A 2v2 fight once again. But it was eUnited outmatched, outnumbered. And it's going to be them coming out on top with the victory. They'll be able to hold this hill. Fearzly, the last one left. He gets it down, but that's it. eUnited, they should win this one off of 2 without any issues. And as we go into the next round, the Knights, they have to figure out a way to stop these players, you know, with this Monkyz. I honestly think the sniper might have been better to have on the map, to be honest.
I'm telling you.
That's a lot of ammo in that Monkyz.
Bro, I mean, that Monkyz has been devastating. Because this is the thing. Snipers are good. Snipers are cool. Body shots, headshots, we see it. You get a ton of value. It is the
really
best power
cool,
weapon
yeah.
you can get. But that Monkyz and the amount of damage that I have seen it output, like, that's keeping you down more consistently, I think, at this point than a sniper would at the moment. I don't know. I mean, maybe that's a bold statement, but the Monkyz has, I mean, the DPS from it is pretty incredible. Like you said, we don't see it often at all, but now that I'm seeing it back on the battlefield, I kind of got excited. I was like, yo, Monkyz and Monkyz, like, that goes hand in hand like peanut butter jelly. But, like, he hasn't had it once. So I haven't even been able to see him utilize it. Like you said, eUnited's had it basically every time, other than Fearzly picked it up and then he got chunked as soon as he exited cave. So this is the round Pittsburgh Knights needs to step up, but TJ already getting the marks and he's out.
And it's so crazy too, because like we see a lot of teams continue to build the retro, and rightfully so. It's a powerful weapon, but you can build that Monkyz up on the secondary as well. You know, I think some squads may like to get it back in a rotation for their team, at least in some of these earlier rounds, for possibly Vasgar and training grounds. But the early portion of this round goes towards eUnited. They'll be able to take their numbers down low at the home hills. They're going to overextend. And now they're going to be able to fortify at E. This is going to be a clean 2v2 fight for a second. DJ has the marks at 2, and Powerz getting some solid shots on the backs of these players.
Shock in the hand, too, of player 5. So there is a chance, depending if eUnited win, and they're going to hop on E. This could very well be a domination. Shock's going to be thrown out. Fearzly can't push through that. You got player 5 who's on the opposite end, who's going to be locking it in. That Shock ended up making it happen, and that was from the player's perspective. We didn't even get to see, but there it is. eUnited wins the map blaze. They needed to win, because Speyer is a map that, you know, they played well on against Rebel, but not well enough to beat them. So there's a chance. There's a chance Pittsburgh Knights now can send it to a game 5. At least that was their win condition. They have to send it to a game 5 now, but I cannot get over that Monkyz. I'm so serious right now. I don't know what the hell that was. I really don't.
I mean, the thing is, it's nothing wrong with the weapon that was placed, okay? Like the weapon that was placed, it's okay. You could have put a sniper, M-bar drop. You could put anything there you wanted. It's the fact that you placed the weapon and you didn't play for it.
They played for once.
Yeah, you didn't play for it. And it was like, did you think that eUnited was going to say, oh my God, it's a Monkyz. Who wants to use that? You're like, who's going to use a Monkyz? You know, just put something. I guess they thought they put something down that was going to be useless.
Right.
But my God, they realized that.
Like,
they put down one of the most iconic weapons in Gears 5 esports, okay?
Jeez. Yeah, that's. I agree with you. I think that's exactly what it was. Again, I said that as soon as it was placed. Like, instead of placing a sniper in cave, they're placing a Monkyz because they don't want to fight the sniper fight. They want more emphasis placed on that overlook fight, but it was anything but. And eUnited looked at that and said, all right, bet. And TJ, because if it was sniper, Powerz is getting it. You know, Powerz is getting that sniper. We know how it flows. It was nice to see TJ perform as well as he did with the Monkyz, a weapon you don't see too often. That's when I believe it was Dezo who ended up breaking away from cave with the Monkyz. I think Fearzly had it too, but either way, they both ended up dying. They didn't even get a shot off with it, but what a turnaround that was. And I really do wish I could go back in time, replay this with the sniper in cave, and see if it would have played any differently.
It would have. I think it would have definitely played a little bit differently because PK would have fought for it.
They would have fought for it, exactly. I wanted that.
They would have fought for it 100%. Not letting it get away for free. But hey, you live and you learn. It's another 5-3, 5-2 loss over here on the side of PK for TG. Now, they got to worry about Speyer. It's going to be their map pick. And Speyer, I said that I think eUnited is going to be the better team on that map today. And we'll see if the Knights can get it done. Now, why do I think PK?
Yeah, why do you think that?
Now, why do I think eUnited is going to be a better team on that map?
Sure.
So far, I've seen them have better initials throughout the tournament on Speyer, okay? In round number 1, they're going to bait PK in, okay? They're going to be able to get those kills, and once eUnited gets themselves up in the lead, they play this map really quickly, okay? They know how to be able to fight for those spawns. They're not scared of being able to, you know, push those 2v2 fights on the edge. And they're just really decisive on their decision making. But if eUnited comes out successful in hill number 1, I think that they'll be able to play off that lead for the entirety of the map.
Well, I'm trying to think. Did eUnited win the first hill against Rebel?
And District Control.
Or not against Rebel. Going back to Speyer in that first matchup we did.
Yes, they did. They did. They
win,
destroyed them.
But then they ended up losing. You know, they ended up losing the map. So I don't know.
Yeah, they let that map slip away, and they let that one slip away, and then they got them on the rest of the maps, right? Then they beat them maps 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah, they did. They did.
But yeah, you're right. They did lose it. You know. But hey, sometimes you lose a key gunfight and you put your team in a hole. You know, any given situation. Gears teams in every Gears of War squad, they strive to do one thing: be consistent. Okay, because Gears can be one of the most inconsistent games out there, with you having to create those advantages round by round. Spawns are super important, but every squad tries to be super consistent, and it's not the easy thing to do. Okay, sometimes fights don't go your way. Sometimes that flash don't hit where you wanted it to. You know, sometimes the rotation comes in late, and you got to react and play off it. eUnited, hey, I think they're going to win that initial, but I think they're going to let it spiral out of control like they did last time. I don't think so.
Yeah, well, setups are going to be important. You know, getting set up early on is going to be paramount, especially on those corner hills. We say it all the time. Pittsburgh Knights, I believe it's even more important for them to rotate early and not allow eUnited to get set up. You got to space those boys out. We've seen their team fire from eUnited's perspective. It's great. It really is. But they're the utmost deadly when they're able to close the gap in those CQC fights. And it's tough to take them down when you're looking at Powerz and TJ playing as well as they are. And I mean, Dyslexic being just Mr. Consistent. That's what I'm calling him. You know, he's not really the shining star. He hasn't been for all of Split 2, but he has been Mr. Consistent. And that's what you need from him. And I love that he is doing that and getting that damage done, right? And he is making some key plays when needed. Powerz even said in his interview, like, everybody's comfortable to be free and take fights if they want to take fights. Look, Powerz at times even be like, Dyslexic, hey man, go out and take that fight. You need to take that fight right now. And Dyslexic's like, hey, bet, I'm going to take it, you know? And I love that about this roster, how free-flowing they can be. You talk about a breathable defense, a breathable offense, and I think eUnited absolutely has that. But again, Pittsburgh Knights can taper that off if they get set up early on, and so I think they're going to do just fine with doing that. So, and Monkyz also on this map too, Blaze, does a good job at prioritizing when to get the drop shot. So I do have faith that he's going to be able to fight for that consistently as soon as it's up.
Nah, he will be. He's always going to be there. Both these squads got great power weapon control. They do. And so depending on how these first 1 or 2 hills transition with both these squads, from that point on, it's going to come down to the comms, really. The comms, identifying numbers, and just continuing to take those numbers and slow the game down when it's time. But they know their opponents. They scrim a lot, okay? They've played them on this map a good amount. Every single hill, they know the 1 or 2 plays that they have to make to try to break their setups. And they also going to know the utility in which they have to work with. Knowing that information and what you do with it is going to win you the map.
Ladies and gentlemen, map number 4, Speyer Control. eUnited comes into this map with a 2-1 lead in the series. You know what that means. Pittsburgh Knights have to win this if they want to keep the series alive and also keep their aspirations alive to rematch KCP, who are sitting in grand finals awaiting their opponent. It's going to be a great matchup, and I can't wait to get into it. That Chapel Hill, the one that you see right in front of you, is going to be the hill that's going to be fought for first. And Blaze said it. If eUnited can, come in there and just dominate PK off the rip, it's going to be tough once they get that point lead for Pittsburgh Knights to come back. So Pittsburgh Knights not only need to win the initial, but need to get a decent point lead so they can stay one step ahead of eUnited and also put them in the dirt. But hey, We'll find out if they can do so. One of the win conditions that Fran ended up pointing out on the analyst desk plays was Pittsburgh Knights, they need to regain. He was talking about after that loss to KCP without Chaos. Now, that doesn't mean much. I'm just going to say it, but it's just something to think about and definitely an interesting thing to think about.
I think it means a lot.
Hey, look, I'm trying to be delicate with it because I
think it means a lot. You know, we had some different competition in our league too last season as well. So it means a lot. And I'm pretty sure this Knights team, they know that. They're just trying to have that repeat of at least
well, Fearzly knows that.
Get back to the finals, all right?
The only person you changed is Fearzly. Okay.
Hey, Chaos is drinking some tequila right now.
Hey,
watching
Chaos
this one. He cheering for his boys, but he say win or lose.
Chaos is like, hey, you boys
say win or lose.
He's like, you boys gonna do it? You boys gonna do it or not?
If not, it's all good.
He got the best seat in the house, just like us, man. We got no pressure.
He'll rather be playing. He'll rather be playing, though.
He would.
100%.
100%. Well, you never know how this ends up going after the major with Rostermania, man. Things get crazy. But hey, let's get into it. 17-16. We talked about eUnited needing an explosive start. Pittsburgh Knights not backing down and not allowing eUnited to get that dramatic lead. So hill number one, pretty much a wash. We got to put our eyes to hill number two.
Yes, we do. And so it's eUnited coming off to a good start once again, and they'll be able to get Powerz and Demise to rotate. You see how they're together. Demise gets some intel. Powerz is going to peek out. They'll get the down on Fearzly, but they need a call out of the player was in that corner. Raver stays alive for now. He's trying to help out Monkyz, but he's getting crossed by Powerz, and here's the pinch from... Oh, no pinch from Demise just yet, but they didn't need him. It's going to be eUnited able to clean house once again, and now they will build on this lead. Another player going to get staggered right here. Fearzly out of play.
Yeah, Fearzly out of
It's
play.
going to slow down.
And Fearzly's going to have a far spawn too, Blaze. Like he's going to have a sprint, a jog. Like he's a marathon runner at this point with how far he's got to go. And not to mention, he might not even get there because, he's got to go through mid. He's going to run into player 4, but also for 5 and 7 of Raver and Dezo, they've got to go through player. They got to go through everybody at eUnited. Now, what did I mention before though? Monkyz with the drop shot. That is one consistent thing Pittsburgh Knights can look forward to. Is Monkyz is so good with his timing on getting the drop shot that's pretty much going to be prioritized every time.
It truly is. And PK, they thought about making that play to push, but instead they got both power weapons. I think on the side of eUnited, they wish that they may have fought for those nades a little bit, at least contested them a bit rather than giving them up for free. And now we see the Knights getting these kills for next without having to use those power weapons. That's good for them. They're taking their angles, taking their time. This is a big kill they got to clean up. That flash will connect. This player's not going to move out just yet. But they don't want... See, he got the drop. He's not trying to get in that one-shot range. But he says, you know what? I'll let you run away for now. We still got 2 nades and a drop to work with. And the Knights, they need to get all of this time. And I honestly think they only need to use 1 nade, too, in this fight.
Only 1 nade, yeah. Save the other Monkyz.
Or that.
I mean, that works, too. Send it flying. When in doubt, whip it out. And... Monkyz is going to go ahead and pick up 1, but he's going to get dropped shortly after. But hey, all is well. No. Pittsburgh Knights still in control of the hill and 50 seconds on it. This is a great time to catch up, come back, reset the momentum, reset the map in general. And TJ better pump the brakes. You mentioned 1 nade was thrown. Well, there's going to be the second. Splash damage is in. Demise is going to drop. That brings it out to Dyslexic and TJ trying to force the hill. Raver, though, is going to get blindsided. Powerz out of nowhere is going to get 1 and get 2 with the trade. And eUnited will retake control where I thought PK were going to get the bulk of the points.
Chat, don't listen to Taylor. When in doubt, do not whip it out, okay?
Blaze,
you have to think about when you use the
roll
drop.
with it. You just gotta let it go and just keep moving. Why you gotta go back to it when it was already said and done?
Because the drop shot is super important, Taylor. You only get 1 shot.
Got it. Roger, track it. Keep going.
The drop shot is very important, Taylor, okay? It's only 1 shell in it, and you do not want to waste it randomly, okay?
Why would you?
How about you roll with it, all right? Just like how PK is rolling with the punches, as they picked up multiple kills, and that's a team kill coming out for Dyslexic as well. So the Knights, they're going to start getting set up for next. They got a few players already kind of set up for the new drop. They weren't able to get it. eUnited got themselves in position for that suppressive fire.
That suppressive fire is going to be laid down. We know when it comes to Speyer, there's a lot of great angles, a lot of great line of sights that if you can get your team fire down, it is hard to push through. You're going to be chunkable by the time you get there. Big fight in Chapel, though. Powerz and I believe TJ. No, it's going to be Dyslexic off to his right, trying to control these steps. The reason why is because if you have these Chapel steps, you can look straight ahead and fight for it, get these Lancer shots. Exactly what Dyslexic is doing. Now, Dezo, it's going to be a bit of an issue with the drop. He does whip it out, and, well, Dezo isn't going to pick up an elimination. And you know what? Maybe you're right. If you are going to send that shot flying after you fought hard for the drop, is it really worth it to send it recklessly flying out there? I don't think so.
Nah, you want to hold it as long as you can. Now, eUnited, they'll be able to get this victory on the stairs and clean up the hill as well. That's 45 points going in favor for them. But I will say the Knights did a fantastic job controlling these last two sets of power weapons and getting some points on the board. But with the Scrappy Hill being in the middle, I want to say they need to contest it, but this is a beautiful play by Dyslexic. He's bringing this fight to Raver without him even knowing it. Raver does not get away, and now the Knights will be pinched. You see how they force forward, but this is a great, kind of situation for the Knights because the Force going to have to be decisive and move up to get that kill. They turn this into a 3v3, and they quickly turn around and they take down Dyslexic. So they just need a little fire behind them, and they execute it.
All right, 147 to 79. PK still trying to, come back in this game and still struggling a bit to do so. It's just because eUnited's done such a great job at outpacing Pittsburgh Knights, getting to the hills early on. Something that I said would be the win condition, but that should have been benefiting Pittsburgh Knights. Unfortunately, they just haven't been on pace with where EU is currently at. I'm looking at a map 4, and I'm looking at Pittsburgh Knights fighting for their tournament life, and they're going to have to fight even harder than they already are. Dyslexic, though. Great shot on Dezo. Meat shield in hand, can now pressure up onto Monkyz. He does have the right hand, which should be the advantage of Monkyz. In fact, will fall there. eUnited continues to get richer in points.
Now, as we are starting to see eUnited with this setup, like you said, they're getting richer in points. The scrap time was not scrap time. The entirety of the time is 50. It's going to turn to scrap time soon if the Knights do not move forward sooner rather than later. They shouldn't want eUnited to break this 200-point marker. But I don't know if the Knights can cut the gap in time. The way that eUnited continues to play back, you see how they just keep moving back up until they can force the Knights to do what they want. And that's go into the open and try to make that flank on top of on top of the hill. But the Knights, they don't take the bait. But I love how eUnited didn't naturally play into them until they had to. Where TJ gets the kill, and now he's going to be set up for next.
Set up for next. Blaze, the wizard, the guru, the magic ball guy. Pittsburgh Knights, 212 to 85. Do you foresee them coming back?
No.
Just straight up. Hey, just straight up, bro.
Because the reason why I haven't seen them be able to successfully be able to, outside of the second hill, they weren't able to win and hold P3. They couldn't come back fast enough to contest P4.
Yeah.
And now we're on the other side of the map, back at P5. And as they're transitioning back, eUnited is quicker, and not even just any member of eUnited. It's literally TJ and then Demise sometime as well. But TJ on this map has been getting so many impactful kills.
Oh, yeah.
To put his team ahead and to get them set up for next while they already are gaining a lot of time. They're living inside the heads of the Knights, and they are taking every play away from them.
TJ last night against Rise was one of the sole reasons why they ended up taking that victory. And then you look at TJ's performance from Training Grounds with the Mark to here on Speyer. A map that they lost earlier to Rebel. I mean, it's night and day. TJ is really in major form. He's performing incredibly well. He's getting in the hills, represented by his 11 caps and breaks. I mean, but either way, for TJ, so much value. And he wants that championship, like he truly does, and he can feel it coming on. Dyslexic, though, holding his ground, the newest addition to eUnited from the beginning of Split 2. Also, Mr. Consistent, like I like to call him, Demise. Stand-up player. He's had so many incredible plays in Split 2. He has been absolutely on fire. And, 242 to 104, Pittsburgh Knights down 128 points. Probably wrong on that, but it's around there. It's pretty incredible how far eUnited is up ahead. And we're back to hill number 1 of Chapel. That was pretty scrappy at the beginning, so I'm hoping it's going to be much the same this time around, the second time around anyways.
Yeah, I'm hoping so as well. Oh, it bounced off the back. but it still connects because of the splash damage that came in from the nade. And it is going to be Demise and his teammates. They got the chapel locked in. Raver gets taken out. And this is a 3-man push for the Knights. And just imagine being in their shoes. Imagine feeling the desperation. And you look at this hill and you got Dyslexic shooting down at you with a Lancer. You got Powerz super wide on the other end of the map with a Lancer as well. Now you're funneled up these stairs and it's a nade in TJ's hand. It's looking like you can't overcome this. And it hits the ground and goes boom and takes out Raver once again. But you gotta break through and you can't get it done. 3 members down on the side of the Knights. And Fearzly can't rise to the occasion.
And rise to the occasion, 280, less than 20 points now for eUnited to send it to grand finals, keeping Pittsburgh Knights top 3 once again in back-to-back majors. Dyslexic, the only representative for Latin America from this point forward to be in grand finals, and I'm saying it like it's official because, well, it might as well be 300, 299 to 104, 300 to 104, and it is official. eUnited beats Pittsburgh Knights 3-1, and they will officially move forward to grand finals to play against KCP to be the champion of the Gears 5 Winter Major presented by the Batman.
And that could be the Batman himself on your screen, TJForce. Call him Vengeance.
Call him Vengeance.
That's what he's been out for this week. eUnited, man. They back in the grand finals, bro. Okay, I wanted to let that one sit for a bit with everyone. All right. Because they did it, and they got rid of the Knights, and so now they get some revenge up against the Pioneers. And if we recall that series in which they played, it was a 3-0.
Yep.
But it was the closest 3-0 that we had throughout our entire tournament.
It was
and 3
close.
Different plays could have went the opposite way, and it would have been eUnited winning that series 3-0. But, it didn't happen that way. And from that point on, eUnited throughout the losers bracket has been building up momentum, okay? Yep. They got reps. And those tournament reps go a long way. Now, they're going to be down a map in the grand finals. But if they keep playing like that, Taylor, ooh-wee. As long as they don't got to go up on checkout. As long as checkout ain't map number 2, map 1 in the grand finals. I got to say that. Hopefully checkout ain't map number 1 because they don't want to go down 0-2. But outside of checkout, hey, they looking good.
It's such a beautiful storyline. You've got Dyslexic fighting to be the second player when it comes down to Latin America outside of Identivs winning a major. And you've got, a big roster change, Precision, retiring, exiting out of the Gear scene. And then you have, obviously, Brawny having to fill his shoes and come back in, and just KCP having, the split 2 that, again, was super competitive. We saw all 5 teams beat each other, but to have KCP now once again going for back-to-back championships, keeping the streak alive is just truly incredible. Brawny has been on fire. So personally proud of that man, but also proud of Dyslexic. I've been building his storyline up since he was in a Challenger series and he came through from that Agarthus roster or Carnage roster. And I got to say, man, super proud of him, but so much at stake for grand finals. Blaze, also an incredible time casting losers finals with you. And I know our time has come to an end, but it was such a good time. Let's bring in our analyst. And I think we've got Fallout for sure. And then we also have Big Ribs and Toby. What's up, boys?
Hey, what's up? Hey, you guys are freaking amazing at what you do. Great duo. Y'all killed it. Hell of an entertaining show. Great analysis, good insights, great play-by-play. Kudos on a hell of a
John, do you give him a stamp of approval for my duo?
Man.
Can he replace you?
No, first off, not replaceable, but an alternate.
What do I got to do? What else do I got to do?
You just listen. There's nothing you can do. There's literally nothing you can do. You just can't replace the Fallout PlayStation. It's just not possible. We just reach max levels. Max levels. Man.
Hey, you're doing good. Don't worry.
I love you, man. I love both. I love all of you.
No, you're killing it, bro. You're killing it, man. Hey, hell of a show, guys. Thanks again for crushing it all weekend long, for being the faces of Gears Esports throughout the entirety of the Pro League and beyond, guys. Much love, boys.
All right, brother.
Much love.
And there you have it, guys. That's going to be it for Losers Bracket Final. That's going to be it for the Pittsburgh Knights. We are going to have a non-LATAM team, or non-LATAM final. Sorry, it will be eUnited going live against the Kansas City Pioneers. But I'd love to start to break that down a little bit. I mean, Rib, starting with you, what went wrong for PK there?
I mean, the Knights, you just simply can't win a tournament winning checkout only. Like, I hate to phrase it like that. They're one of the strongest teams that we've ever seen come out of Latin America, but it's just that we haven't seen a Latin American champion. They don't show up as we need them to win a championship. during the pressure of the majors. They do well during the pressure of Pro League and maybe in an E-Days, a weekly tournament. For whatever reason, this pressure is too much for the Knights. They're not looking as good as they have been throughout the weekend and throughout the whole split, Toby. And sure, check out, they seem to have a great strategy. They get the snipe into Dezo's hands. They're really good on this side of the map. I asked for Raver to go off. He kind of did well on this map, but I need Raver to make more plays. I need him to match the skill level of some of these high-flying players that we see. United, they lose that checkout, and then they pretty much just take over. And they lost to Rebel earlier on Speyer. That doesn't make them a bad Speyer team. If anything, it's the contrary. You learn from that loss that's just fresh earlier in the day, and you come back and you learn from that, and you take the W and you win it 3-1. I thought we might go to 3-2, but United just turned up on Speyer. You love to see it.
Toby, what you got?
I was looking through these highlights actually and check out, and it was an interesting map for me, I'll be honest, because TJ actually didn't turn up in a big way. He went 2-6, and just on the stats alone, you think, all right, PK did it actually really well. Then they shut down Plat, and they played really well strategically. Dezonide getting the snipe, playing very well. But then, of course, we went to TG after what was a really good checkout, and the casters were rightfully so confused about this Mark's placement. I think generally what PK were trying to get at is we just won 2 rounds in a row. Dezonide getting 5 kills in literally the first round alone. No kills for eUnited after those first 2 rounds. And they were thinking, you know what, we're just going to put the Markser down here, prevent them putting a sniper or anything powerful at the bottom to force them into this team fight up top and keep them there for the remainder of this map and kind of guarantee TG that way. But instead, TJ just changes it up completely, leverages the Markser over and over and over again, and it does the complete opposite. eUnited can completely avoid that team fight, and they lost so many rounds because of it after doing so well. I just wish they put a power weapon up top, Ribs, to be honest. I wish they put a snipe or something else just to force the fight back up there. And then that would have actually changed up, you know, the Markser impact on the game, because there'd be another weapon on the map. And then, of course, we went to Speyer as well. I'm so confused as well, just simply put, that eUnited were able to turn it around in the way that they did. Simply put, from that game against Rebel, I thought PK would just have this in the bag and it would be kind of like a guaranteed win. But even towards the later end of this map, you see Fearzly getting caught out here with a drop shot. I thought PK were doing a really good job of actually resetting a lot of hills and saying, you know what, let's set up. We've got the drop. We've been using it really well, getting it over and over again. But they got a bit complacent. eUnited just read them like a book and started flying at them. And it resulted in the scoreline we saw here. So honestly, overall, very well played from eUnited. But PK, boy, did they slip up on maps like TG and then eventually Speyer as well.
Yeah, it's tough. Honestly, it's really tough. And I think that was a pseudo block, that Marksa pick, but they underestimated that TJ would be that strong with the Marksa. In the end of the day, United, all the credit in the world. They get their rematch versus the Pioneers. They lost in winners quarters earlier this bracket, and it's going to be, as you look at the bracket, the Knights are going to go down from winners finals to losers finals to get 3rd place. Worse placement than they got last event, John, with one of the OGs in Chaos. That doesn't necessarily mean Fearzly isn't as good as Chaos. You know, it's a completely different event, playing against a different United, different rosters. But yeah, you have to put an asterisk on that 3rd place. They went backwards because they were in finals last event.
Yep, that's a great point. They've made it so many finals throughout the history of Gears 5. Have not been able to win it. This time won't even be featured in the finals. But hey, at the end of the day, top 3, hell of a finish. My hat goes off to this squad. Excited to see them bounce back for our next major. But it's United's time. And United obviously is probably feeling really, really hot again. We keep talking about how red hot they are in the losers bracket. I am excited to get their thoughts. Before we wrap up, I know this is Toby's last segment on the desk. Toby, you've been absolutely crushed. Any final words on your end?
Yeah, I mean, I'm happily wrong about my prediction on the last game because eUnited just blew me away. Totally blew me away. And I thought even for a moment they were going to win checkout with the way they were playing, despite, you know, lacking TJ. But speaking of the devil, TJ was the MVP for me on that match, right? On Speyer, on the first map. He has turned up. And I think he's had such a fantastic performance this event. So many eyes have been on him, right? We've gone to a very new team in this United roster. You think Powerz would be the star of the show? I think TJ has been, honestly, to be honest. And the fact that they won Speyer and they won in that way, maybe, just maybe they can beat KCP in the final. Personally, I don't think so, though. So let's see if they can actually surprise me again.
Yeah, big maybe indeed. Well, thanks again to Toby Campbell. I always say, I've been saying this since the very beginning, one of the best talent we have in all of Gears esports broadcasting. Most brilliant analytical minds. Pleasure to be alongside the desk all weekend long. Thanks again, Toby. But for that, let's go ahead and throw it over to Jordan. She's live with an interview with Powerz from eUnited. Take it away, Jordan.
Yeah, thank you so much, Fallout. Powerz, what a close competitive contest that one was. But obviously now you've completed the run through the second chance bracket. So in your words, how did you feel about what the team was able to do?
I mean, we've been playing pretty bad all weekend, so we just had to tidy up. And I already knew how my team gets against how we get against PK. Like I was just going, like I said, man, like my first interview, being confident. Even though we played bad Saturday, we just got to keep our heads high and just fight through it.
Right. Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about training grounds, the Monkyz placement. The casters kind of called it out. It was like, whoa, what's going on? No sniper. But obviously PK placed it, not you guys. And TJ hit some great shots with it. So what sort of went through your minds? Like when you saw that, how did you adjust and everything? Just talk to me. What did you guys think?
To be honest, they gave us what we wanted. We were down 2-0, and I literally said, let's put a snipe middle. And they helped us. So shout out to them for helping us with that fight because that's what we wanted. And with the Monkyz, TJ has always been good with Monkyz with every single gun. So I already know once he had that gun in his hands, he was going to be very annoying on the map. And that gun is pretty easy to use in this game, in my opinion. So they definitely helped us out with that.
Yeah, and obviously, like, just snowballed after that placement. But
yeah,
let's look ahead to the next match. You got the grand finals, booked your ticket. It is against a team we saw you play yesterday, Kansas City Pioneers. A little bit of a rematch here. What are your thoughts?
To be honest, it's just gonna be war. Like I know both teams want to win. You know, like I'm cool with them, they're cool with me. It's just gonna be head on. And we watched VOD on the last match. A lot of unfortunate stuff was happening to us. We definitely should have won at least 2 maps, but we're gonna how to explain it. Like I said, we're gonna keep our heads high. We're gonna play like we want to win, and we're just gonna fight back, honestly, because we didn't fight back last time. So we're here though. We're here to play. For sure.
Right. I feel like a lot of discussion has been like, who is the underdog? You know, obviously you guys coming out of lower bracket. I don't think by any means either one of you guys are underdogs. It's really a close contest. How do you feel you sort of match up against them just overall?
It's gonna be staticky. Like I feel like whoever is hitting more shots. To be honest, like it's one of those matches with these guys. We always go to war with them, so it's gonna be a fun match, most def. But I'm still confident. You know, my mindset is still the same since Friday. And one more last thing, PK, gotta stop tweeting after you lose, man. That's all I'm gonna say. You saying we only good on what Tuesdays? No, Thursdays. It's Sunday, man. You guys looking shaky. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna keep it clean, just like that. That's all I'm gonna say. Just stop tweeting after matches. That's it.
Powerz said no Twitter fingers. We keep it on the
Yeah,
sticks.
stop that. Stop that. That's corny, bro. That's corny. We saw that tweet, started laughing. Pick up a controller and fight back. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay, it's getting a little spicy, Powerz. I love the confidence as always. We always get that from you. So best of luck in the grand finals. It's obviously going to be a very action-packed contest, but another action-packed blockbuster that we don't want you to miss is the Batman. Take a look at this preview and don't miss it, only in theaters on March